Okay, so we're starting Hilchos Megilah וחנוכה, but we're not starting from the beginning because we only have 7 sessions. So what do we want to try to focus on? There was the drunken thing which we wanted to go through again, but I also feel like we need to look through matanos levionim again since we've been doing. Since we've been doing. I know it's not tzedakah, but it is related. So I was thinking, given that. It probably just makes sense to start to just do the last halachos in the second parak, which is all the non-Megillah halachos, right? And then just see, and focus on that. Is that okay? All right. Yeah. Yeah, this is so. Just to contextualize here, we've got Sefer Zmanim, and this is the last section of Sefer Zmanim, presumably because it's the D'Rabbanans, right? And then the first parak is about the mitzvah itself, and then what we can do? Let's look at our handy dandy makbili headings. Okay, so you have mitzvahs kriya. Okay, this first couple of halachos. Zmane kriya. That's the different days, and based on the city. Then you have kriya b'Shabbos, right, which is a whole separate issue about that we don't read on Shabbos. Then second parak, you have the Megillah, the kriya, the ma'aseh kriya, and then the kashrus of the Megillah. Then you have that's really takes us up to where we are doing, I think. Okay. And then the Shar Mitzvos Yom. I'm gonna say I know it all. It's pushing. Not one. Yeah. Like the. Yeah. So we'll focus on that then. Okay. So Shnei Hayamim Ha'elu. So these 2 days, Shehem Arba'a Asar v'Chamisha Asar, which are the 14th and 15th of Adar. Asurin b'Sefet v'Tanias. Oh, and again, just basic facts here. It's the 14th in cities that were not walled from the time of Yeshua ben Nun, and then the 15th in cities that were walled from the time of Yeshua ben Nun. And why is it that we care about the time of Yeshua ben Nun if that was like way before the events of Purim? Yeah.
It was arbitrarily just so Yerushalayim could be included.
Well, I wouldn't call it arbitrarily because that implies no reason. There is a reason that at least that the Rambam gives. What were you saying?
I think it had to do with Hebrew Arts. I mean, that's what Yeshua ben Nun is known for. So
that's definitely that was the time period, right? That's good. Oh, good. So I'm glad I brought this up. Okay, yeah. So Shushan Habira. Oh, wait, sorry. Ezi Uzman Kriyasa, this is in Aleph Dalad. When is the time of its reading? Zmanim Harbe Tiknula. They established many times for it. Shnemar Bizmanehem, in their times. Ve'elu Hein Zmani Kriyasa, Kol Medina Shaisa Mukevas Kol Ymei Yehoshua bin Nun. All cities, or whatever you want to translate Medina as, entities that were walled from the time of Yeshua ben Nun, Bein Ba'aretz, Bein B'chutz La'aretz, even though they don't have a wall now, they read on the 15th. And that is called a krach, a city. Any other place was not walled in the time of Yeshua, we read on the 14th. That's called a city. Okay. Shushan Habira, Shushan the capital. So that's why we read in Shushan. Don't advise you that you go there, I guess, but or is that a place that is that a place that is still friendly to Jews, even though there's not a lot of Jews there?
It's
Susa, yeah, right. So they're friendly to Jews, where there's not friendly to Israel, right? Shneimar v'noach b'chamisha asar bo. It says that they gained reprieve on the 15th in it. All right, here's the question then: V'lama talu hadavar b'mei Yoshua? Why did they make it depend on Yeshua? Kedei lachlok kavod le'eretz Yisrael, to give kavod to Eretz Yisrael, shaisa chareva be'oso zman, which was destroyed at that time. Kedei shehi according to Bnei Shushan, that they should read like the Bnei Shushan, v'chashvu k'ilu heim krachim ukafim, and they should be considered as though they were walled cities. Afal pishin ata charevim, even though they now are desolate. Hoyil v'hayu mukafim b'mei Yehoshua, since they were walled during the time of Yehoshua, v'yihye zikaron le'eretz Yisrael b'nei zeh. So he's kind of weaving in two reasons here. Let me just summarize and make sure I got the shot here. So he's saying that when he says that they were choreva b'oso zman, I assume that means in the time of the Megillah story, then the Israel was chareva, right? So if we were to highlight the miracle that was done in Shushan by talking about cities that were walled, at that time, it would just highlight, oh, Israel was destroyed. So what we do is we like take that quality of walled city and we like rewind it to a time in Israel's history where it was not destroyed. And now we are doing a dual thing of commemorating the Nes in Shushan Habira, but also having a Zikaron Eretz Yisrael through this Nes, which I don't know what the idea is of both of them together. Yeah.
It's not like still why Yoshua, like why not double?
Right. So that's a good question about why Yoshua. So that part, I don't know if it is. Yeah, it could be what times. I've never seen an explanation of why Dafka at that time. I mean, yeah, you would think it would take from the golden age of Israel, you know. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to dispel like the I don't know if this is what you meant, but it's not arbitrary. Bichlal, you meant arbitrary in terms of when in Israel's. Okay, yeah, right. All right, I just want to clear that up. Okay, so that is those 2 days. Okay, so elu. Shem arba asar v'chamisha asar asurim b'sefed v'tanis l'chol adam b'chol makom bein libnei krachim shein osim chamisha asar bilvad bein libnei ayaro shein osim arba asar levad. So both of them is asur to do eulogizing and fasting, no matter who you are or where you live. As opposed to, let's say, Kriyas and Megillah, you only do in the unwalled cities on the 14th, and you only do it in the walled cities on the 15th. And same thing we'll see with the mitzvahs. Yeah. I assume that means that you can't eulogize.
In general,
for the dead. I mean, yeah, I think you don't do a hesped. I think you. Here's okay. So. Yeah. So hold on just 1 second. I wonder if he has this in Hilchos Evel for. When he's talking about if they die on the moed, on Chol Moed. Let's see here. Avel. Okay, so he says, I skipped one. All right, no. Yeah, Kishim Mavrin es ha'avelim b'moed, ein Mavrin al mitos zakufos, v'in omrin birkas avelim b'moed. I forgot what the Mavrin means. Aval umdin b'shura v'menachim upotrin, v'in menichem es ha'mita b'rchov, shelo lahargil es ha'sefed, she'hamoed asur b'sefed b'tainis, v'in ein malakit atzamos aviv imo b'moed, she'evel hu lo, v'in tzarek lomar shar krogim. So this is talking about on the moed. So okay. V'chein ein maspidin esames b'Chanukah uPurim v'lo b'rosh chadashim aval noagin b'hen kol divrei veos umuter lispod lifnei Chanukah uPurim ula'achreihem. Right. So you do, yeah, you just can't do hesped.
To other to the modem which knock off the shiva and stuff like that.
Right.
And you're
Yeah. Right. And then hold on just 1 second here. I want to say that there is a I thought that what we do, but I don't know if this is just us or if I thought that there is a thing with Talmidei Chachamim of doing like some words of hesped even on a moed, but I could be mistaking that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But in terms of our halachos, plain try, you just don't do any hesped. Yeah. And you don't delay, right. Okay, so then he says, all right, so that's just one question. I mean, one of the sugyas, just to be aware of the sugya, even though this is Rambam Bekius, is you have this weird phenomenon of the kriya is allocated either on the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, or 15th of Adar, right? But then you have like these are special days in terms of the Isser, no matter who you are or where you are. And then you have when you do the Mitzvas Yom, which is also going to be dependent on your day, you know? Okay. And that's the other weird thing, is that they're Asr in Adar Rishon, just like Adar Sheni, when there's none of the other mitzvos being done. So it's just like a weird thing. Yeah. But that gets into the whole sugya of what's the nature of Adar Rishon and Adar Sheni, which I don't even know. So this was back when the system was that the people in villages would read at the closest Monday or Thursday to Purim, because that's when they would all gather. So for them, mutarim b'sefed b'tanis b'yom kriyasa, so they are allowed to do hesped b'tanis on the day that they read, if it's not the 14th and the 15th. Okay, fine. All right, so that's backdrop here. Say it again. Yeah, a lot of interesting side stuff. Yeah, right. Okay, Mitzvas Yom Arbasar. Now this is our first. Okay, we'll read it first. Mitzvas Yom Arbasar libnei kfarim vayaros. The mitzvah of the day of the 14th for the villagers and the city dwellers of Yom Chamisha Asar libnei krachim, and the mitzvah of the day of the 15th for the walled city dwellers. Lihiosam is that they should be, meaning the days should be ymei mishteh v'simcha, days of mishteh simcha. What's your favorite translation of mishteh? Drinking. Okay, yeah.
Or I guess I would say partying.
Yeah, I'd say for me, I feel like drinking party.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not a chag, which is just like a celebration, and so
not drinking at a bar. It's like
right. Yeah. So it's also just not the activity of drinking.
Like a wine party.
Yeah. Right. Cocktail party. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Some people translate as feasting, like house of feasting, but the implication is definitely that there's shasiyah there, right? Yeah. Okay. Umishloach manos lareim, and sending of gifts to comrades. We came up with a better word for comrade, right? Yeah. That was a good meta joke. Yeah. I think we came up with a less communist sounding word for reim. I mean, I know they say fellows, but compatriot, brethren, yeah, whatever, right? Someone who's like part of your society, but not necessarily friends with, yeah. Matanos lavionim, and gifts to the avionim.
Isn't dafka between close like people?
So it's machlokas achronim, I believe. I don't know if it's machlokas rishonim, but is the obviously you're yota no matter what, but is the ideal to give to someone who is not a friend, or is the ideal to give to someone who is a friend?
Isn't a raya?
That's what I'm saying. It's not though. No, it's not, right? Like, right? It's a fellow. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's like, that's why I said comrade. Yeah, yeah. Maybe we didn't go through that this year.
We probably did.
Yeah.
I have preconceived notions about the word.
Right. Yeah. Like it's not like an ahuv, or like or even chaver, I assume, or yedid, like that's like a real emotional relationship. Yeah, it's more like you are in the same category, like I think they even darshan that for that's for something different. Never mind. Okay. Amru chachamim kola osei malacha biyom. Oh, sorry, I just skipped something. Umuter basiyas malacha. It's mutter to do malacha, which Mordechai and Esther tried to make it an Ezra malacha, right? Did not stick. V'afa pichein, nevertheless, in roi lasos malacha. It's not roi to do malacha on it. Whatever roi means. Amru chachamim kola osei malacha biyom Purim ino ro esim and bracha.
What that means?
Yeah, they say whoever does malacha on Yom Purim, they will not see a sign of bracha. Yeah, okay, so let's just raise our questions on this just so we can have them brewing here, right? I mean, overarching question.
What happened to Megillah?
Yeah, I mean, Megillah, well, not what happened to it, right? We've been doing Megillah the whole time. But,
what mitzvahs? The Mitzvah Yom, though.
So the question is, what's the relationship between what he's calling Mitzvas Yom Arbasar versus like, if you look at the intro, right? So hold on a second. First of all, he says, so he's not going to tell you the mitzvos because this is Durbanan. And then he introduces it. So the hold on a second. I'm just going to read the whole thing first. The reading of the Megillah in its time is a mitzvah midivrei sofrim. But hadvarim yaduim is also a weird thing. It's known things. Shehid takanas neviim, that it is a takan of the neviim. Presumably, what's plain shot, it's known. It's in Tanakh, right? Okay, meaning he's not needing to tell you this from Torah Baal Peh. Everyone is obligated in its reading. Anashim v'nashim, v'gerim v'avadim v'shafarim. Men, women, converts, freed slaves. Okay, also wise you have to say that. Umachanchen es hakatanim likrosa. We train children to read it. Even the Kohanim in their avoda, we stop their avoda so they can come in here and make a Megillah. Same thing, we stop Talmud Torah for reading the Megillah. All the more so for other mitzvahs of the Torah. All of them are pushed aside from Mikra Megillah. The only thing that pushes aside Mikra Megillah is a dead body that has no people to bury it. If you encounter it, not halavai, like the dead body of the cricket on the way. It's alive. Okay, you didn't step on it. Then you do that and then you read. So just to say the question here, he says in the very beginning there are two mitzvos aseh, right? And presumably they are Megillah and Hanukkah, right? But in the actual sections, he has Kriyas Megillah, which is clearly a mitzvah. Then he has Mitzvas Yom Arba Asar, which seems to be that they're days of Simcha and mishteh. Then he has Mishloach Manos and Matanos Levyonim. And then, so what is the relationship between these mitzvos? And then similarly in Hanukkah, we had a similar question. There's Ner Hanukkah, and then there's Hallel. Mm-hmm. So Yosef and then Akiva after.
I think that those things you actually have to do on that day, whereas Megillah does not necessarily have to be on the 14th or 15th.
Okay, right. So that would be explaining why he's singling them out for the mitzvah of the Yom. Mm-hmm. Still, the question is, in terms of the structure, like, I guess, are these additional mitzvahs aseh? In which case, why does the Rambam say there are only two mitzvahs aseh in this whole thing? Wow. And if these are somehow part of Mikra Megillah, then what you said is true, but it's even weirder that we separate them from the Kriya, So that's like a structural question here. Yeah, Kiva?
I was also going to give why Megillah is separate from the
Yeah. All right, so these are good questions. And then we also have this question of what's the deal with the so here's right. So the way I'm inclined to read it this year, right now, at this moment, but not necessarily in the future, is and this does not answer the structural question, but it is the mitzvah is that these should be days of A, ymei mishteh v'simcha, B, mishloach manos, C, matanos levyonim. So the mitzvah is really to qualify the day via these things, but that still doesn't answer the question of the relation between the mitzvahs ymei Purim and like Mikra Megillah, and what the relationship is. But that at least like puts them under one heading, and it also puts a strange a strange structure where like, let's say like, and maybe this is false because you guys are like learning the sugya now, but plain shot on Yom Rishon of Sukkot, there's the Kedushas HaYom, and then on that day, then that's the mechayev for Netilas Lulav.
The Ron says that. Right.
Okay, fine, right.
And other Rishonim, they're like, there's Kedushas HaYom and there's Mitzvahs.
Right. So here, obviously, there's no Kedushas HaYom, but I guess what I'm suggesting here is the day is to the mitzvah is to render them into days with this character via the activities that you do on them, which is not like you don't make it Sukkos via your Netilas Lulav, Right, in quotation, because there's no Kedusha, right. Exactly, yeah. And which would also maybe explain why he puts this mention of malacha in here also, that the address of where the Isra malacha would have been in creating a certain character of the day, but just in fact, we don't have that. All right, that was fun. So let's think about these questions. I think for the sake of efficiency, what we should do is raise all the questions, but keep making progress through these things until we get through them all, and then in whatever time we left over, we can go into try and analyze them or do Harek Adam stuff. Yeah.
I just the thing about the Yoshub and the idea came to me is that because all we're trying to Masaki according to when Eretz Yisrael was a thing, and the Yoshub in his lifetime is when Eretz Yisrael began as an entity. Right,
like a inaugural national time period. Yeah, right.
I guess ultimately I have to go for the beginning or the end. The end is obviously a terrible idea.
I see what you're saying.
So therefore go for the beginning.
Right.
But then just to boost your thing from earlier of why I've done it, or even better, Shlomo, that's golden era.
Yeah, right.
You could also pick that. It's a little more arbitrary in the sense there's no definitive timeline. Right. But at the same time, it's also if you're looking for when Israel was at
when should we want to remember Eretz Yisrael?
When was it when was it at its best? That would be Shlomo.
Right.
Well, I was also thinking
that's a good question. I honestly don't even know how long.
So the Kibbutz was 7 years, right?
I don't know how long ymei Yehoshua ben Nun is. Even.
I was thinking that also.
Yeah.
Because Yehoshua was in
all these sugyas. Yeah. What if he knocked it down? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it's usually like do you when
He
you
knows
divide
what's not
land, divide when you can't enter
Right.
what like from when he was born because they're like cities that were destroyed after he divided
Right.
the land.
I mean, I bet this is the type of thing that the Yad Pshuta talks about. So we'll see. We'll see if we can find answers, but we'll keep plan to keep moving as if this were a Bekius shiur. Kilu. Yeah. Okay. Have a good day. Thanks for coming.